In northern France, well, around 6,000 people have been evacuated from a refugee camp famously known as the jungle. The fate of 1,500 miners still remains uncertain. And while the Calais camp is now cleared, authorities in Paris are seeing a growing number of migrants sleeping rough on the city's streets. Parkinson has more on this.
The fate of many unaccompanied minors remains far from certain. The jungle camp in Calais is almost completely destroyed now. Over the past week, around 6,000 migrants have been moved from the camp to reception centres around France where they're being processed and will be able to apply for asylum. But there are still around 1,500 unaccompanied minors in Calais. They are being housed in temporary accommodation in container camps in the jungle camp site, which is basically a wasteland now. We've seen the images of the camp burning, of the camp being destroyed over the past few days. Well, the miners are still in that area while the French and British authorities argue over who is responsible for them. As I said, there are around 1,500 miners in these container camps. The French authorities say the United Kingdom has agreed to take around 250 of them, but the fate of the others remains far from clear. Meanwhile, here in the French capital, there has been an increase in the number of migrants reportedly sleeping rough here in Paris. Of course, the migrant problem here in the French capital is not new. There have been tent camps around the city for the past 18 months, but there is a concern now among aid groups, among local residents and among local authorities that following the closure of the Calais camp, migrants and refugees who don't want to go to reception centres here in France because they don't want to apply for asylum in France, because maybe they still want to try and get to the UK, will now descend on the French capital because the Calais camp is closed, and that will effectively shift the humanitarian crisis that we've seen in Calais here to the French capital. Kate Parkinson, CCTV, Paris.